Cardomancy reading. Let's see if the light helps. No, doesn't help at all. So we got some full sun here, and we have a deck of cards in my new box that I bought yesterday at the thrift store. So we're gonna go with the Invincible deck. I went through them. All the cards are here. They are shuffled. Give you a look at them as I pull them out awkwardly. Like that deck. 59 cents originally. And I'm not going to shuffle them repeatedly because actually I can shuffle. Why not? I don't really need to shuffle. The shuffle's up to you. But we will be using Wenzel Brown's How to Tell Fortunes with cards. And you lay it out in this manner. Let me show you. You start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Start in the middle, left, right. So that's what we shall do. And I know you can shuffle them, but I will shuffle them actually. It's not a real shuffle, but there you go. 7, 9 of clubs. Low numbers so far. Place those over there. Eight of clubs. Lots of low numbers. I don't know if that's a good or bad. Don't know if it's good or bad, bruv. Oh, the Joker. We've got the Joker, bruv. Seven of hearts. Five of clubs. Very odd. I don't think I've ever had a deck draw like this. Five of diamonds. Four of clubs. 3 5 so far. A 3. Never seen a hand like this. Not a hand, but a draw. 7 of or 7 of spades. That's the third 7, third 5. This is what we're up to. How to tell fortunes with cards. We will tell my own fortune. Joker! 2 jokers. Son of a bitch. Two jokies. 2 of clubs. Ace of diamonds. Normally you wouldn't shuffle like this, but since I only have one hand free, that's what I'm doing. Last card, 4 of diamonds. There's your spread. Of course, that sun doesn't really help it much, does it? All right, let's get on with it. Doesn't really matter what the layout is. It's the intent. Very strange that I got no, besides the ace of diamonds, no, what are those called? The upper, get off there. You're tarnishing my spread here. All right, let's go to the first card. First off, we should see there's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 sevens, 1, 2, 3 fives, couple fours, 2 jokers. Maybe I will close this. That's even worse. There we go. Now we're completely in the dark. Now I need a candle, don't I? Where did I put my candle, bruvs? I don't need a candle. I will get a candle, though. All right, bruvs. We got a candle. A nice pumpkin nutmeg. Where are you, pumpkin? Are you lighting, bruv? Didn't want to light. There, it makes it look mysterious. All right, bruvs. Got our creepy guy over there. Ouija pillow. Let's do this. The center card shall go to the front of the book. I think this is about the easiest method I've seen. You just use this. I know you're supposed to memorize the cards, but not memorizing all this stuff. It's easier just to pull out the book. A quick run through of the spread, and there you go. The sample spread, which I always use. The significance of the individual cards. The Joker. The Joker was originally the fool of the tarot cards. He represents a reversal of conventional standards. The independent spirit who walks alone, complete with himself, lacking all fear, guided by forces of nature, and arcane wisdom. So the value of the cards. Here's the section that tells you how it works. The positions in the spread. By and large, the central card, number 1, represents either the querent, his personality, and the nature of his problems, or the primary influences, which are moving through his life at the present moment. The cards which flank the central card, numbers 2 and 3, are the next most important cards in the spread. They clarify the personality of the querent and provide basic information regarding the situation in which he finds himself. A face card in the middle spread may represent the querent, or may represent an individual close to him who plays a dominating role in his life. The latter is more likely to be the case if the card ordinarily designates an individual of the opposite sex from the querent. Pardon. The 3 cards in the upper right wing, we shall deal with them later. Let me put a card in here. All right, let's look up the 7 of diamonds. See what it foretells of my personality. 7 of diamonds. The 7 of diamonds is often a card of distress. Oh no. It represents an unresolved problem weighing upon the querent. Usually it involves finances, although it may relate to domestic or business situations in which monetary matters are of secondary importance. Often there is a delayed decision. Circumstances which obscure the real issues of the problem make solution difficult. When the 7 of diamonds lies in the middle of the spread, it may represent a problem which casts a shadow over the querent's life. and is preventing his progress towards the goals he desires. When this is so, it may be that the problem is not as difficult of solution, not as difficult of solution as it appears. That the hazard can be removed, or at least progress need not be delayed by the uncertainty which the dilemma creates. The nature of the problems will be suggested by the remaining cards in the spread. When the seven of diamonds is prominent in the spread, the utmost tact is required on the part of the reader. Well, I am the reader himself. If he notices that the querent is unduly agitated, I'm not. He should do what he can. Calm down, buddy. All right, bro. He should avoid giving too concrete advice. Frequently, the querent is voluble in his desire to discuss his problem. I am not. Where the seven of diamonds appears on the upper wings, it does not. All right, so I got an unresolved problem. Second card, nine of clubs. Clubies. Nine of clubs. I've got a problem, bruv. Oh, there we go. Niner of clubs. Second card in the spread of a spread of 15. Yes. The nine of clubs represents satisfaction or success in work. It is also indicative of emotional adjustment, stability, and progress. Where the nine of diamonds appears in the same spread. Do we got the nine of diamonds? No, I'm not getting anything. Where the nine of diamonds appears in the same spread, financial rewards are promised. All right, I'm getting no rewards. If the querent works in the field of arts, I do not. The indication is of an important sale or contract. If he is in business, this may be a promotion or a better position. When the nine of hearts appears in the same spread, we have no nine of hearts. The promise is made of happiness through achievements. Nine of clubs. Where the nine of spades, no more nines. When the nine of clubs appears in the upper left-hand wing, it does not. In the lower left wings, no. The card in the same row as the nine of clubs should give clues to the nature of the enterprise, the people who may be involved, which may have to be overcome in situations which will assist the querent in achieving the ends he seeks. All right, so this is a problem. This is work. And this will tell me what the problem is, apparently. Five of spades. Oh no, it's a long one. The five of spades is the card of separation. Its appearance in the middle of the spread is likely to mean that the querent will break old ties, change employment. There it is. Settle in a new location or travel extensively. Not going to happen. Inherent in the five of spades is a sense of grief, sorrow, and sometimes remorse. Traditionally, the five of spades is associated with tears. What? But in most cases, the change is voluntarily made. The sorrow which comes from leaving old friends may be compensated by meeting new situations, finding enlarged patterns of experience, and constructing a more pleasurable life. All right, so I'm going to change jobs. I'm going to get rid of an old bitch. And the separation may be symbolic or spiritual rather than physical. We're going to say it's symbolic. Ideas previously accepted may be rejected. Concepts may change. Prejudices may evaporate. Long-established judgments may alter. Illusions may die. The cards close to the five of spades indicate the nature of the separation and whether it will bring eventual joy or sadness to the querent. If the separation is born of quarrels, bitterness, or strife, the reader should advise the querent to examine his plans for change and not to act with precipitation or through anger. Don't look back in anger, bruvs. If he can divorce himself from undesirable reactions to what may seem an intolerable situation, it is possible that the separation can take place with a minimum of grief and ill will. When the five of spades appears in the upper right wing, it does not. If the five of spades appears in the lower wings, it does not. Under no circumstances is the five of spades a card of death. At its worst, this card may mean loss of friendships through quarrels, vituperation, or anger. Frequently, a swift, clean-cut cleavage from an established pattern of life is preferable to maintaining a situation fraught with petty annoyances, irritation, bickering, distrust, and other forms of unpleasantness, because radical change and separation from friends, family, or employment always involve unforeseeable dangers as well as opportunities. It is unwise for the reader to make positive recommendations. His advice should be restricted to guiding the querent toward the recognition of his innermost feelings so that he will not take irrevocable steps. I like to say irrevocable. Sounds more forthright. Steps before testing their advisability against his mature judgment. All right. Back to this. The cards which flank the central cards, number 2 and 3 are the next. The three cards in the upper right wing, 8 of clubs, 5 of diamonds, and Joker, number 1. That's the red Joker. That is the black Joker. Maybe not. Then they look the same. The three cards in the upper right wing, number 4, 8, and 12. 4, 8, 12. Because you go around like this when you lay them out. Normally indicate the course into which the querent's life would normally flow unless checked by some positive action on his part. All right, let's check this out. The 8 of clubs. What's it foretell? Already we have problems in personal or work and quitting the job or quitting the bitch. 8 of clubs. Okay, quit you, baby. Oh, yes, you can. 8 of clubs. You see 8 of clubs? The 8 of clubs is a card of balance, harmony, and quiet delight. It indicates a questing spirit in search of beauty, which may be found in such simple things as flowers, sunsets, books. I got 10,000 books. Or friends. F the friends. This is the card of the gentle dreamer, but it represents only one aspect, perhaps a hidden one, of the querent's personality. This is not a card of social detachment or financial incompetence. On the contrary, it suggests a clear recognition of values, but at the same time, it indicates a growing inclination to sacrifice material comfort for the pleasures of the mind and soul. What do you got, bruvs? The querent who finds the 8 of clubs in his spread is fortunate. He possesses inner qualities, which will guard him from many of life's vicissitudes. The 8 of clubs holds a promise of a happiness that will increase with the years. Its presence in the middle of the spread may bring into focus the querent's need to rely on those inner forces. It does not, so we'll skip that. Oh, that's it. I guess we won't skip it. Its presence in the middle of the spread may bring into focus the querent's need to rely on these inner forces. This holds especially true if diamonds dominate the spread. Well, they do, but 4 diamonds. Actually, I think the clubs dominate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 clubs. They dominate. So the rest of that is basically rubbish. So this one is a contentment, happiness. Let's see what 5 of diamonds brings us. Oh, there it is. The 5 of diamonds forecasts the clash of wills. Oh no, not this again. This is not to be interpreted as a quarrel. A lover's spat or an enduring feud. Usually this clash of wills will occur without acrimony. Indeed, it may be so deeply submerged in the subconscious of those affected that they are unaware of the undercurrents of tension which run between them. This will be a conflict of spiritual forces in which two people closely united accept opposing standards of values. I always get this card for some reason. I think I always get fives. And seek different patterns in their futures. Outwardly, the two people may be in accord, but their ambitions, their dreams of the future, and their moral judgments set them apart. This may occur in a husband wife relationship, a business partnership, or in situations relating to parent and child. Money may be involved, but this is not the crux of the conflict, and it should not be permitted to obscure more important issues. Sometimes, especially when the five of diamonds appears in the middle of the spread, it does not. Inherent in the five of diamonds is the power to adapt, to reach a state of concord so that the two lives can flow in harmony, each with the other. This does not necessitate compromise. Often, conflicting points of view are not as divergent as they may appear. Sometimes identical long-term objectives are sought in different ways, and mere failure to interpret the objectives of another correctly may be the root of conflict. The querent who recognizes some hidden strife that mars his happiness should be encouraged to clarify his own aspirations and objectives, to set aside petty grievances, and to concentrate on the moral and spiritual values which are of greatest importance to him. Once these are clear in his own mind, he may be able to present them to the other party in such a way as to gain their acceptance. Misunderstandings may be, to a large extent, the result of a failure to communicate with those close to him. While the five of diamonds holds the promise of renewed warmth and strength, in a personal relationship, it also hints at loneliness and separation if the warning is ignored. And now we go to the Joker because it is the next two cards. Das Joker. I believe the Joker is a reversal card. The Joker. The Joker was originally the Fool of the tarot cards. He represents a reversal of conventional standards, the independent spirit who walks alone, complete within himself, lacking all fear, guided by forces of nature and arcane wisdom. In material affairs, the Joker may stand for unconsidered actions, folly, and eccentricity. But in spiritual matters, he represents originality, audacity, and venturesome quest. It is said by the gypsies that he possesses the foolishness of God, which is greater than the wisdom of men. When the Joker appears in the middle of the spread, he does not. But we'll keep reading. The indication is that the querent has attained in some degree, or seeks to attain, freedom from physical restraints, grandeur of vision, and the superior wisdom which men term folly. He is no longer bound by conventions, blah, blah, blah. This one. When the Joker appears in the upper left wing of the spread, the indication is that the querent will be faced with the choice of rejecting worldly goods to attain spiritual freedom, or of accepting material restrictions in order to assume social responsibilities. As I said, it's in both corners. The Joker is also a warning. On the lower wings, it is not. The Joker is also a warning that all is not as it seems, that there are hidden meanings beneath the obvious messages, which can be read in the cards. Where the Joker appears, the reader must take a special care in interpreting the spread, and beware of pitfalls wherein a literal reading of the cards may lead to a reversal of truth. The Joker is a card of duality that tends to shroud the future in mystery. Caution to the reader, it may be advisable for the relatively experienced reader No, it will not remove the Joker. In fact, I insist on the Joker being in a spread every time. The three cards in the upper left wing, numbers 13, 9, 5, offer the querent an alternate route, which he may follow if he so desires. This wing designates possibilities which are open to him, whether this alternate route is desirable or one which will be dangerous to him depends upon the cards themselves. All right, we already read the Joker since there were two of them. Now to the Four of Clubs. If I can find them. Find them. The Nine of Clubs. Seven of Clubs. 3 and 4 of a kind. No, we want 4 of Clubs. 5 of Clubs. And the 4 of Clubs. The 4 of Clubs is a card of strengthening friendships and increased social capacities. It suggests that the querent is held in warm affection and high regard by those about him, but that he is not fully aware of this christening or cherishing. The intimation is that in case of need, he may find assistance from unexpected sources. This card represents gradual growth, a day-by-day tightening of bonds of affection, which may escape the querent's notice. There is a hint that the querent may feel forlorn or abandoned, but if so, his loneliness is self-imposed. Modesty, shyness, or inarticulateness may prevent the full pleasure of friendships which are available to him. If this is the case, the querent should be advised that open friendliness on his part, together with a kindly interest in those about him, may open up gates to more rewarding social activities, bruv. There is the suggestion that the querent underestimates himself. I do not. I'm a champ. And that he is capable of inspiring unexpected depths of friendship and of being deemed worthy of loyalties. A fuller recognition of the regard in which he is held by others may enrich the querent's life. Thanks, bruv. But it should be counterbalanced by a more searching attempt on his part to find greater values and admirable characteristics in his associates. And we go to the Two of Clubs. The Two of Clubs represents a social invitation. This may be a bid to a club, an invitation to a social gathering, or even a dinner engagement. On the surface, this invitation may seem trifling, of little consequence, but the appearance of the Two of Clubs in the spread indicates that the acceptance of the invitation will play an unexpectedly important role in the querent's life. This is particularly true of the if the card lies in the middle of the spread, does not. When face cards appear close to the Two of Clubs, is the Joker considered a face card? I'm doing witchcraft, buddy. Doing a card fortune telling with my deck of cards. When the face cards appear close to the Two of Clubs, the indication is that this invitation will lead to new friendships. I believe this card's always in my spread too. If a face card representing an individual of the opposite sex from the querent lies directly above or below the Two of Clubs, there is a promise of romantic attachment springing from some social gathering. If the Two of Clubs lies in a spread in which diamonds predominate, it does not. The acceptance of this invitation promises financial rewards. Should the Ten of Spades block the path of the Two of Clubs, it does not. The querent should be warned that the acceptance of the invitation may have. Let's play Free Fire. Come, bro, please. Yeah, I'm not playing games with 4-year-olds. No, it sounds like some weird entrapment by Interpol. Get out of here. If you're a kid, get out. Bait it. And if you're a Fed, get out too. When hearts predominate in the spread, the two of clubs suggests that the invitation will open a path to many things which the querent has long desired. The presence of other clubs close to the two hints at gaiety, pleasure, and social activity, which results from the acceptance of the casual invitation. All right. The three cards in the lower left wing, 14, 10, 6, are generally guideposts which will assist the querent in making his decision. However, where the querent is elderly or past middle age, this wing is likely to represent elements in his past which affect his present or future circumstances. In the youthful querent, these cards are more likely to forecast future events and offer advice as to how to prepare for them. All right. The Seven of Hearts. Traditionally, the Seven of Hearts, bro, I am not a kid, bro. 30, yeah, I don't want to play. I don't even know what that game is, but I don't play games with dudes or kids. Except my own kid, but my kid is no longer a kid, so my kid's an adult. Bait it. Not playing games with you, bruv. The Seven of Hearts. Traditionally, the Seven of Hearts denotes a lover's quarrel. It is also a card of credulity and faith, symbolized by the linked hands of children. The quarrel may be no more than a tiff which can clear the air for a better understanding between the participants. However, where the Seven of Hearts appears, it is wise to warn the querent of a situation in which he should guard his temper, lest words spoken in anger should form a permanent rift between him and someone whom he loves. And since in the latter part, this is probably looking back. The phase lovers' quarrel should not be taken too literally. The card may indicate a disagreement between any two people who are devoted to each other, such as husband and wife, mother and daughter, or intimate friends. Where passions are unleashed, the quarrel may become serious. The presence of the 9 or 10 of spades, or the 10 of clubs, close to the 7 of hearts, is a deeper warning, signaling the querent to guard his tongue. What are we looking for? 9 or 10 of spades? Nothing. 10 of clubs? No. Where the 7 of heart appears in the middle of the spread, it does not. When the 7 of heart appears in either left wing or of the spread, the indication is that another person has need of the querent's strength and cherishing. Oh no. If the card is in the lower left wing, the person dependent upon the querent may be shy, inarticulate, or so in awe of the querent that he or she is incapable of making his needs known. Because of this, such a person may cloak his affection with sharp words or criticism. The querent should be advised to deal gently with the situation so that no discord or a permanent nature arises. If the 7 of hearts appears in the right-hand side of the spread, it does not. All right, 3 of hearts. The 3 of hearts. The 3 of hearts represents a disappointment in love. Jesus Christ. How many times you got to bring this up? Spread. A minor setback in one's plans or an error in judgment. Why are you waste your time? You motherfucker. The 3 of hearts represents a disappointment in love, a minor setback in one's plans, or an error in judgment. The appearance of the 3 of hearts is a warning that the pathway ahead is not straight. Fuck your games. What are you, I'm 34 years old. Let's play a game, bro. The fuck is going on with you? Put the games away and get out some books. is a warning that the pathway ahead is not straight, that there are pitfalls lying there to trip the unwary. The Three of Hearts may also warn of self-delusion. There's no delusion. The querent may have a subconscious knowledge that he is handicapping himself, causing himself unhappiness by his reluctance to make changes. For a variety of reasons, he may be loath to face the situation, or he may hope that minor problems will solve themselves. The indication here is that he should shed impedimenta. The fuck is impedimenta? Which weigh him down. If he is indolent, vacillating, or indecisive, the difficulties will grow greater until they become an onerous burden. Inherent in the Three of Hearts is a promise of increased happiness, success, and well-being, but these are dependent upon the querent's courage and determination. The lover's quarrel may set things aright. The temporary setback may clear the pathway to greater success. An error in judgment, once recognized, may prevent permanent unhappiness or defeat. Where the Three of Hearts leads to the Nine of Hearts, it has particular significance. It does not. If the Three of Hearts leads to the Nine of Spades, it does not. The querent should be advised to prepare himself. Blah, blah, blah. All right, Ace of Diamonds. There it is, too. The Ace of Diamonds is commonly thought to represent money. Actually, this is a debasement of its original meaning. The Ace of Diamonds is the card of magic or wizardry. Inasmuch as magic and science were synonymous in arcane lore, the Ace of Diamonds may represent mathematical knowledge, engineering skill, or a bent toward sciences such as astronomy, biology, archaeology, and especially architecture. Arcane knowledge also informs us that the seed of magic lies in the home. The true magician was a builder of houses. The Ace of Diamonds is a card that represents constructive power. Through the centuries, the spiritual wisdom attributed to the magician was gradually reduced to the chicanery of the juggler. The individual who could keep many balls in the air at the same time, who depended upon trickery to bedazzle and bewilder those about him. The true magician is a builder of character. He transmits knowledge from higher sources. His influence does not lie in trickery, but in his capacity to understand and interpret the life forces which surround him. The Ace of Diamonds is not a card of ease, contentment, or luxury, as sometimes supposed. It represents an uneasingly restless spirit and is the emblem of intellectual curiosity, energy, and a dissatisfaction with life as it is, coupled with a desire to attain lofty objectives which will benefit mankind. Because the original tarot cards have been truncated into the current 52 card pack, 52 card pack, the Ace of Diamonds represents a large range of meaning. At its best, the presence of this card can indicate a selfless nobility of spirit dedicated to the welfare of humanity. At the opposite range of possibilities lies the self-seeking individual, clever and ruthless, able to turn every situation to his own advantage. Therefore, the reader must proceed with extreme caution when the Ace of Diamonds is prominent in the spread. It isn't. The promise of creative power is present, and to the best of his knowledge, the reader should guide the querent into channels through which the greatest benefits may be derived from his talents. The youthful querent, no. The female querent, no. Where the Ace of Diamonds appears prominently in the spread of the adult male querent, the indication that he soon will have an opportunity to use his organizational skills. That's not me. Left wing, not me. When the Ace of Diamond appears in the upper right wing, not me. Wait, let's see. The upper left wing. However, if the Nine of Spades, Ten of Spades, appears in the upper right wing, it does not. If the Two of Spades lies to the left of the Ace of Diamonds, there is a warning of delay. Nothing. On the other hand, if hearts or clubs lie in close juxtaposition to the ace of diamonds, the promise is that some plan will have a happy and fruitful issue. Inherent in the ace of diamonds is an irrevocable force. The querent who seizes the opportunities offered by the ace may find his life patterns changed. Usually, these opportunities include financial benefits. However, embracing them may mean the sacrifice of values, which in the long run are more deeply cherished. The reader may find indications in the spread that a total absorption in some project may lead to losses in other areas. Where this is so, this possibility should be drawn to the attention of the querent. Finally, the three cards in the lower right wing, numbers 7, 11, 15, usually represent specific forces at work outside the querent. While these forces cannot be controlled, the querent can adapt himself to them, thus utilizing them for his own advantage. 5 of clubs. There's clubies. Spades. That's right, clubs are at the end. The 5 of clubs. The 5 of clubs warns that care must be taken to avoid a rift between old friends. There is danger of a quarrel that will cause the querent grief unless he takes steps to prevent it. This is not a lover's tiff or a disagreement between husband and wife. The quarrel is much more likely to be between the querent and a person of his own sex, unless a face card representing the opposite sex lies next to the 5 of clubs. This card symbolizes rivalry, competition, strife, and jealousy. It warns the querent not to flaunt his own success or to resent the social success of others. Should the 5 of clubs appear in the middle of the spread, it does not. The querent may find hostilities. If the 5 of clubs appears on the upper wings of the spread, it does not. If the 5 of clubs appears on the lower wings of the spread, the quarrel is much more likely to relate to a specific matter. In this case, the ill will of another, not necessarily an intimate, may cause the querent to be disappointed in some project of a social nature which is of importance to him. In the lower left wing, no, it's not. 7 of spades. The 7 of spades is a card of division. It indicates partial success in the plans or aspirations of the querent. It is also a warning of unexpected turns and twists of fate. Where the 7 of spades appears, the querent may find that objectives which he has successfully achieved do not bring expected satisfactions and rewards. The querent should be advised to reevaluate his plans and to view them with greater objectivity. The pathway ahead is, in all likelihood, strewn with more difficulties than he realizes. He must expect setbacks, but if he can weather these disappointments, he can achieve some of his goals. He should be cautioned not to give up too easily. Above all, he should not act in pique in such a way that he destroys future opportunities. The reader should remind him in as tactful a way as possible that success which comes too easily loses its meaningfulness, while success which comes after many hardships and sacrifices gives enduring pleasure. Lastly, the 4 of diamonds. The 4 of diamonds betokens concrete, measurable success in terms of finances, business, or professional status. This is not a card of sudden fortune, good luck, or sweeping change. Instead, it marks an advance earned by merit or hard work. This forward step may seem to have little importance in itself, but it will lay a foundation on which a series of other advances may be laid. The querent may be inclined to dismiss his accomplishment as trifling, but actually it can bring him deeper satisfactions than he would achieve through more rapid progress toward his goals. All right, so there's the reading. I'm basically strife at work, strife with people I love or dislike. Same thing, and same thing. And then, yeah, basically, I'm holding myself back. Disappointment in others. Hose, be gone. Now let's check the 1, 2, 3. We will check a predominance of two of clubs, 3 and 4 of a kinds. We got 3 5s, 3 7s, 3 5s, and 3 7s. 3 7s, bickering, petty gossip, possibility of false accusations. Querent is warned not to be misdirected from high purposes to ignore unfairness and jealousy, so that when truth is established, he may benefit by his own integrity. Right. 3 5s. Revolt against authority, but unconsidered judgment may result in loss of prestige, waste of energy over trivialities. Querent should be advised to weigh any action to make certain his goals are worthy as well as workable. A preponderance of diamonds. No, it's clubs. A preponderance of clubs promises a more interesting and more rewarding life. Clubs are frequently cards of energy. Enterprise, sociability, and usefulness. Clubs indicate the presence of opportunities for new friendships, an enlarged social circle, and the beginning of activities which will give added significance to the querent's life. There is a danger, however, that too many plans may prevent the fruition of any one. The querent should be warned to circumscribe his social activities in order to devote more time to the cultivation of a few friends and the implementation of his most cherished ambitions. Buying 10 million books. The presence of a large number of aces and face cards in the spread indicates radical changes. Conversely, if the spread is composed largely of lesser cards, the indication is that the querent's life will adhere closely to its present pattern. In this case, the interpretation of each card should be minimized. Thus, the promise of a letter containing good news should be interpreted merely as a pleasant communication. Quarrels may be reduced to misunderstandings, and unhappy events may be no more than passing irritations. All right, that's it. That's my rating. This card was just the guide. And that's it.